Episode 283. Lord Grimm and his two companions, having only just joined the fray, were now at the absolute bottom of this BOSS aggro list. There was no way it would target them. So, as long as they didn't walk right into the Salt Ronin's blade, they'd be safe from everything except its area of effect attacks. Jiang Yu and his crew, however, were about to become the Salt Ronin's prey, one by one. Lord Grimm and his two companions would inevitably help the BOSS with the damage output. Once these players were wiped out, the three of them would turn back to finish off the boss, whose health was already low, even in its enraged blood state. The Salt Wave Ronin Oppan is terrifying. By all normal logic, it should easily wipe out three players at full health. But that's just the norm. Lord Grimm's strength operates on a different level entirely. Jiang Yu had no doubt that the three of them could take down this Salt Ronin Oppan, whose life was hanging by a thread, fight to the death, or retreat. In that split second, a flurry of thoughts flashed through Jiang Yu's mind, but he had no time to dwell on them. With the Blade Master down, Love of a Ruckus instantly became the top aggro target for the Salt Ronin Oppan. A terrifying sword aura was already rushing straight for his face. The swirling sand kicked up a wave, threatening to tear his character, Love, to join the fun to shreds. Jiang Yu didn't dare hesitate. As a cloth-robed mage with no blocking skills, a single misstep could mean instant death. Jiang Yu hastily executed a roll command, sending Love a Ruckus tumbling to the side, narrowly evading the sandy sword energy. Salt Ronin Oppan drove his sword into the ground and performed an upward slash. A move players would recognize as the Earth, splitting wave sword from the magic sword style. But in the hands of Salt Ronin Oppan, the effect was magnified, as if he were trying to flip the entire ground itself. The churning yellow sand surged toward Love to join the fun like a true tidal wave. Its sheer, inspiring force and vast area of effect would make any magic swordsman player green with envy. Jiang Yu and the handsome wanderer Ao Pan had been standing there for over an hour, even though he'd been attacking from a distance the whole time. But he was already intimately familiar with this boss's attack patterns. The moment he saw the boss wend up, he knew what was coming. Jiang Yu immediately scrambled to the side, dodging and rolling for cover. Just as he was about to drag it out of range, his screen suddenly went black. A figure crashed to the ground right in front of him. Shit. Damn it. Jiang Yu cursed as the figure slammed into him, sending them both tumbling to the ground, right into the swirling vortex of yellow sand churned up by the Earth, shattering Wave's sword. Love to join the fun had no idea if his buddy was alive or dead. All he knew was that his own health bar had just plummeted to 0. Pale-faced, he didn't even have time to pop a potion. Lord Grimm's figure was already before him. Without waiting for him to get up, a foot stomped down, followed by several rapid gunshots, sending Love to join the fun straight back to Kangji City. Jiang Yu had truly flipped the table this time. As the manager of the club's guild and a professional player, he even had a dedicated office space. Around him were other players who also managed guilds, diligently grinding away in the game. Suddenly, they saw their boss slam the table and leap to his feet, kicking his chair over. In the dead of night, the sudden commotion yanked everyone back from their virtual worlds. The guild members stared in horror at their guild leader, while Jiang Yu glared daggers at his screen. He'd already scrambled to use a healing potion, but his APM was no match for Lord Grimm's. He was killed before he could finish. The potion command just became the press any key to respawn prompt. His character had already respawned in Kangji City. Sitting at his computer, Jiang Yu fumed for 2 seconds, then lunged toward the person behind him in the room. Amidst his outburst, only one person in the entire gaming studio didn't even bother to look up. This was Jiang Yu's teammate. The striker fighting alongside him in One Line Valley was local, but the others were from different cities. Given the nature of their online work, they didn't need to share an office. The striker player was sweating bullets. His heart was pounding like a drum. His situation was dire, utterly and completely dire. At this moment, he was under a combined assault from Lord Grimm, Soft Mist, and the Saltwater Ronin, Open. He wasn't fighting, nor was he dodging. He was simply running away. A glance at the party list in the corner of his screen told Jiang Yu the battle was lost. Of the original 6-man team, only 3 remained. Who was it that had been thrown over, colliding with Jiang Yu and tumbling into the ground wave sword? Jiang Yu hadn't gotten a clear look at the time, but it was probably that berserker who'd spotted the bus. He was already gone from the party list. Clearly, he was dead. The striker player dodged left and right, leaping, dashing, and flipping, his hands flying across the keyboard and mouse in a frantic burst of clicks and keystrokes. It was clear the battle had reached a new level of complexity. Yet despite his frantic efforts, the health bar on his screen continued to drop, bit by bit. He dodged and weaved, but he couldn't break free completely. Then, a shadow flickered before him. Lord Grimm's form suddenly materialized, having used shadow clone technique to flash his true self forward and block the path. He thrust out his arms and unleashed a falling flower palm. The falling flower palm also unleashed a small shockwave of energy. Lord Grimm struck with blinding speed. With no room to dodge left or right, the striker had no choice but to leap back. The next instant, he heard the sharp shing of a blade being drawn. The surging sword energy from the Salt Ronin's Alpan finally struck the striker perfectly, sending his last sliver of health plummeting towards 0. The fist fighter player's finger had been hovering over the hotkey for a healing potion. In that instant, he clicked without hesitation, instantly pulling his nearly depleted health bar back from the brink. They all had this potion ready. That Blade Master already used his, but Jiang Yu never got the chance to move. The striker was ready for him. He was quick to take the bait. But before he could even land from being launched by Salt Ronin Open's draw sword slash, Lord Grimm was already there, catching him with a sky strike.
Keep up the DPS!
Off-screen, Jiang Yu and the striker player watched their characters' HP bars plummet. From their screens, they couldn't even see Lord Grimm's figure, let alone tell when or how they'd been hit. Shit. And with that curse, the striker player bit the dust. He's flipping it again. The striker clearly wasn't about to let Jiang Yu be the only one flipping the table. The moment his corpse hit the ground, he too flipped the table and leapt up, cursing all the while.
What the hell? Teaming up with the boss? Are you kidding me?
The people in the room stared blankly at the two of them. They knew exactly why these two had come down from the heavenly domain to the 10th server. But it seems this opponent in the new server is incredibly skilled. Even the guild's top experts have been utterly broken. Everyone kept their heads down, not daring to look or ask too much. This was a style that had trickled down from the top of tyrannical ambition. The guild's leadership greatly admired the fierce style of their team captain, Han Wenqing, who would point a finger and start cursing the moment things went wrong. But they got it a bit wrong. When Han Wenqing starts yelling, it's at least after a mistake has been made, and he's got the right to do so. But these guys who learned it seemed they just had a particular fondness for Han Wenqing's brand of fiery temper.
When they were frustrated, pissed off, or needed to vent, they'd find an excuse to start cursing.
Everyone here had some experience. No one was foolish enough to be the first to speak up. In the end, Jiang Yu and this all-mage player just stared at each other, wide-eyed and speechless. It's not like two victims could just vent their frustration by yelling at each other. Their gazes finally fell together on the screen. The striker hadn't yet respawned back in town. From his ghostly perspective, he watched as Lord Grimm, Soft Mist, and the Saltwater Ronin Opan moved in perfect formation, a single unit, charging toward their two remaining living teammates. The sharpshooter and the cleric